So it is preparing to live stream the meeting. Now, I hope the guests are coming in. Admit all. Yeah. So can I make you the co-host,
Ooh.
Asta?
Yeah.
So you're the co-host, and let me make Sana also the co-host. Hi, Sana.
You have to make the timer the
Hi.
co-host and Toastmaster
Who is the timer?
Kaushik. Who is the timer? Timer is Deepti.
Okay. So let's call all of them.
She's not here.
No, not here yet.
Yeah. I'll post it in the group.
Manvi is writing something. Manvi, are you writing on the group?
No, I am not.
There is Deepti.
Okay. So, yeah.
यार कोई नहीं आया अभी तक तो रोल प्लेयर्स ही नहीं आया Where are the role players? Saiba, Gulam, Deepti.
Deepti is there, Saiba, Gulam.
Manisha is not here.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. I'll take a couple of minutes before I can switch on my video.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So we have two prepared speeches today, and we have table topics, and we have Kaushik sir's session as well.
Yeah.
सब कुछ मैनेज कर लेंगे हम इतने टाइम में.
हाँ हो जाएगा.
ओके ठीक है. टाइमर हूँ ना इसलिए पूछ रही हूँ. कौशिक दा को कितना टाइम है? मतलब how long is his module?
15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, and when do I show him his green,
15
yellow,
minutes
and red?
green, 17.5 yellow, and
Yellow?
then 20 में red.
ठीक है, cool है.
And for my icebreaker, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6. Okay. अच्छा, that's the new pathway, ना?
Yeah.
Okay, ठीक है.
Please keep an eye on those who are in the waiting room.
We'll start in 2 minutes, even if people don't come.
Mm-hmm. So yes, we were discussing about going offline, right?
Yeah.
Going for a hybrid meeting. So we are here, 9 of us. So who's there in Delhi? Who all are there in Delhi? Chehek?
I think Chehek is there. Manvi.
Sana is there. Sana?
I am there.
Okay.
Yes, Sana is there.
Gulam, you are there. So like 4 people are there at least. Manvi, are you there in Delhi?
Right now, I am not in Delhi.
Okay. And so
But
we
I
have
think
4
she
people.
will go back.
Yeah, and
Manvi?
Swati also said that she will also be
Yeah.
very active in that.
She said that.
And a couple of people also want to join our our offline session. For example,
Offline.
Shudita and what is his name?
Aditya.
Puru. So Puru.
I think Aditya will also join our offline
Aditya
session.
will also join. So there are people. I think 10 or 12 people are there at least. So we can actually try and go for like
we'll try for a hybrid meeting soon, mid-Feb maybe.
So just a camera check. Am I visible and audible? I'm audible, I know, but yeah, for the visibility part.
So guys, let's start. We are live.
Yeah, we can start, I think, probably. And yeah, let's call Manisha because she's going to give
She's
her
coming.
speech.
She said it'll take her 5 minutes.
Okay, and is there anyone else who's the evaluator? Are the evaluators here?
I'm
Me
evaluating.
and Iqbal.
Acha,
Yeah.
great. So we can start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and I can't see any guests right now. So, good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Welcome to the 14th meeting of New Delhi Toastmasters. I hope everyone is fine right now. And now I'll recite the Toastmasters mission statement. We provide a supportive and a positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self confidence and personal growth. For the smooth flow of the meeting, I have some ground rules for all the members or the guests. If you have logged in from dual devices, please ensure there should not be any disturbance during the meeting when any of the speaker is speaking. Please try not to exit or re-enter as this distracts the tech master and even the members who are the co-hosts. Please try to use the hand gesture feature of the Zoom and only unmute when you are asked to unmute, as the unintentional voices can distract the speaker and the role players. Now, with this, I would like to call the most hardworking, the most jolly member of the club, and she is the president of New Delhi Toastmasters. Over to Toastmaster Astha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhavi. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good
Come
afternoon.
on.
Afternoon.
Great.
Good afternoon.
So, are you all ready for today's table topic module and everything that we have decided for you?
Yep.
Yep. Let's show some excitement and energy. We are very less people here, so we need to take care that this meeting is full of excitement, is full of shouting, noises, enthusiasm, and everything. Just make it more fun, because as you can see the theme, wow, the theme, I love the theme. I also talked about this to Toastmaster Sana, that her theme is really amazing, and by the end of this meeting, most of us singles will be crying at the corner thinking about our life. And as we know, the coming week, like from tomorrow to 7 days, things are going to be very special. But my Valentine's week is like 70. I'll eat dosa on 7th, I'll eat momos on 8th, I'll eat chowmins on 9th, and henceforth. That's my dating life. It was like the same then and it's the same now, and I don't see any prospect of it improving in near future. So let's hear about dating today from Toastmasters Hannah, because I hope that she must have better plans, better ideas, and better things to talk on this topic today. Firstly, before that, let's see if we have any guest. We don't have any guest at the moment, but we have Toastmaster Kaushik. Toastmaster Kaushik, if you will like to speak anything before we start the meeting.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to this wonderful afternoon, not evening yet. And best wishes to everyone. Looking really forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kaushik, for joining us. Now, over to the TMOD. She's always there. I'm just a fan of her speaking style, how she can show 100 emotions in just few seconds, and it's really difficult for me to capture her emotions, because when I was the secretary and I was preparing MOMs, she always had this complaint: Astha, my pictures are never looking good, and whenever I tried to click a good picture of her emotions, it went like this, and every time I saw her smiling and I clicked on the screenshot button, her emotion changed, and therefore I never got a good picture of her. So hoping our new secretary will get a good picture of her and will satisfy her dreams of having a very good picture on her MOM. So over to you, Toastmaster Sana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asa. That was such an interesting introduction about me. But I want to first put out a disclaimer that I'm a very shy person and it's very hard for me to talk about dating and romance. But a friend of mine recently introduced me to a book called Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari, the man who starred in Master of None, and that gave me the idea for today's theme. We all are aware how dating has changed over the generations from our parents' time to when we were growing up and how it's like at the present. Till just few decades ago, dating was kept very much hidden. There was no privacy. One could not even freely talk to their partners over the phone with just one landline in the entire house or even very openly meet. All those who still manage to date would find one decent person, most likely from their neighborhood, and would get married by 24, 25. But now people marry much later and spend years searching for that one right person, or not even get married at all. Getting in and out of relationships is a norm now. Also, with the development in technology and online dating, people today have much more options than they ever had in history. Most importantly, though, people nowadays have the freedom to choose their life partner, at least in the modern Indian society, unlike how it was earlier when marriages were strictly arranged by parents, while the bride and the groom hardly got to meet more than once and sometimes not even that before saying, I do. We will be talking more on the theme as we progress, but as of now, let us first understand the format of today's meeting. The meeting is divided into 4 sections. The first section is the prepared speech section, in which we have got 2 speakers who will be required to deliver a speech based on certain objectives and will also be evaluated by their respective evaluators. The second section is the table topic module to help us all prepare for the table topic contest that's due next week. The third section is the table topic section, in which the table topic master will give on the spot topics to the participants, and they will be required to deliver a short impromptu speech. The fourth section is evaluation and feedback, in which the general evaluator and her team will evaluate all the speakers, provide constructive feedback on today's performance. And now I would like to invite the general evaluator for the day to help us understand her role and that of a team. Over to you, Toastmaster Chehek.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sana. And I must say, a very endearing theme indeed, given that Valentine's Day is just around the corner. When I heard the theme of the day, the first thing that came to my mind was the movie Love Ajkal. For those who haven't seen the movie, Rishi Kapoor's character had vowed to marry Harleen even without talking to her. Can you even think of something like that in the current day? And on the other hand, Saif and Deepika's characters, they hosted a breakup party to celebrate moving on to the next stage in their lives. This movie clearly showed how the so called rules of dating have changed from one generation to the next. Another simple example that comes to my mind is who pays for the date. Previously, it was considered chivalrous for the man to pay for the date. Now it is considered normal to go Dutch or take turns in paying for the date or when they're going out. Having said that, dating still differs across cultures, and the point of dating then versus now will always be relative to an individual or their upbringing. Coming to my role, I am the general evaluator for today's meeting, and my role is to give an evaluation for the entire meeting end to end. For this, I have a team of role players, which comprises of speech evaluators and auxiliary role players. The speech evaluators will be evaluating each of the prepared speeches, and they're encouraged to use the CRC approach or the sandwich approach, which we call in Toastmasters. That is, start off with a commendation, end with a commendation, and give recommendations in a very positive manner. As for the auxiliary role players, I'll call on them now so that they themselves can explain their roles better. So should I first call on the first role player, Toastmaster Deepti, to explain her role as the timer of the day? Over to you, Toastmaster Deepti.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator and Toastmaster Chehe. Um, as a timer today, I will be taking a record of all the timings that the speakers, of which the speakers will be taking. And I will be presenting my report towards the end of the day, end of the meeting, when we have uh, our reports section. And just to give a brief, I have a little timer who's helping me out record the timings. So she's a budding Gavilier, and I'm taking her support. That is why the delay in turning my mic on. But yes, we'll give you a precise report so that each of you who speak can note your timings and can consider revising or revisiting those timings in case you exceed or you speak less than the time. Having said that, we have two prepared speeches today. Toastmaster Tariq is going to present his icebreaker for the next part, which is going to be 4 to 6 minutes. At 4 minutes, I'll show the green card, 5 minutes the yellow, and 6 minutes the red card. Toastmaster Manisha is giving her level 3 project 2. The speech timings are 5 to 7 minutes, and 5 minutes I'll show the green card, 6 minutes the yellow, and 7 minutes the red card. The table topic section will be, each table topic speaker is expected to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute, I'll show the green card. At 1.5 minutes, I will show the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, I will show the green card. And there is a grace of 30 seconds on the upper side. With that, I hand it over back to you, Madam General Evaluator, Toastmaster Chehik. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepthi, for explaining your role so well. And while we have you on the screen, would you mind explaining your other role as well, that of the hour counter?
Absolutely, Toastmaster Chehik. So I'm playing a double, I have a double whammy today. And a double role. So, as an counter, dear Toastmasters, I will be noticing and taking a record of all the ahs and ums that you will be using while speaking. And in case you do use, I will be also recording your filler words like, right, basically, actually, and any pauses, short or long. These are the kinds of things that I'll be noting down, and I'll present my report at the end of the session, in the general evaluation session. Now, I would like to take a moment to explain that what happens if we use these crutch words. When we use these crutch words, there are three things that happen. One, we come across as very unprepared, and it seems to the audience that we haven't really thought through of what we're going to speak. Now, while that may be true, but we wouldn't want to show, so we need to take care of our crutch words. Secondly, it weakens the point that we want to make. So use of crutch words like, right, are just weakening your point, because anyways, focus on what you want to say to the audience. And thirdly, the audience loses interest in what you're speaking. They know that you're not prepared, and they just want to digress and they get distracted. So, dear Toastmasters, be mindful of your ahs and ums, or the crutch words as they're collectively called. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Chehe.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepthi, for taking on two roles and explaining both of them so well. And with this, I would now like to call on our next role player, Toastmaster Saiba, to explain her role as the grammarian for today. Toastmaster Saiba.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jack. Today, instead of sharing my views on the theme, I'm more excited to what others have to say, because certainly I'm not the right person to draw a comparison between dating now and then, because the then is pretty much alien to me. But one thing that I know for sure is that a good vocabulary and a flawless grammar can go a long way in helping you woo the person, especially those grammar Nazi types. So, as the grammarian today, I'll be noting down all the good usages and not so good usages of the language, as well as any grammatical errors made by the speakers or the role players. I request you all to avoid using any other language like Hindi, regional, or foreign. Otherwise, if the usage is necessary, please translate them into English for everyone's understanding. In addition, I'll also keep a track of the number of times the word of the day has been used, and also monitor its appropriateness and inappropriateness. Word of the day today is enduring, which means arousing a feeling of affection or admiration. Its usage in a sentence: the character he plays is one of the most enduring on television. I request everyone to acknowledge the usage of the word of the day with a thumbs up. I'll submit my report during the general evaluation. Over to you, Toastmaster Check.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saiba, for the lovely word of the day, which is so apt to the theme as well. And now I'd now finally like to invite Toastmaster Gulam as the active listener for today. Toastmaster Gulam, can you please come on the screen and explain your role?
Yes, thank you, General Evaluator. So for today theme, I will take as this as a technology because in my time I was not in that category that dating and something. But yes, I do remember one of my friend was so much entering on that part, like it was for him like a season of love, and the time he has given to his partner and all of those things, like it was too much excitement for me whenever we saw him. And nowadays what I saw, due to technology, we have within a single tap and click you have a complete story. So it's totally different now. And now coming to my role, I am the active listener of the day. I will be listening closely to everything that is said during the meeting and will ask questions in order to test our listening skills. I hope everyone listen all the things, and we'll see that how many of you will give the correct answer to my questions. I will ask my question during the general evaluation, and I will not giving any goodies, but yes, there will be some points that I will give to you. Over to you, over to you, General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gulam. And with this, I would now like to invite Toastmaster of the Day to take the stage back. I will come back in the last segment of the meeting to give the general evaluation. Over to you, Toastmaster Sana.
Thank you, General Evaluator and the tag team, for the detailed explanation of your role. And now it's time to start with the first section of today's meeting, the prepared speech section. The first speaker for the day is Toastmaster Tariq, who will be delivering his icebreaker speech. But before we invite Toastmaster Tariq, let us first invite his speech evaluator to help us understand the speech objectives of our first speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster Astha.
Thank you again, Toastmaster Sana. Toastmaster Tariq is delivering his level 1 project 1, that is the icebreaker from the path leadership development. The purpose of this speech is for the member to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of the public speech. I wish the speaker all the best. Over to you, Toastmaster Sana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Astha. When I asked Toastmaster Tariq what's the one thing he wished had not changed about dating over the years, Toastmaster Tariq replied, Abba ka khauf. That means the fear of one's father. And I can't agree more. Today's generation is not afraid of their Abba and Amma anymore. Let us now welcome Toastmaster Tariq. Who am I? Who am I, Toastmaster Tariq?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Who am I? Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. What am I going to talk about in this speech? Well, the topic of my speech may be self-evident to some of you, but let me clarify. I am going to share my life experiences with you all and the lessons that I learned and how those experiences shaped me as an individual. For the sake of clarity, I have divided my life into 4 parts. So I'll start off with the first part, that is the school life. So I was born and brought up in a small town named Muzaffarpur. It's a small town in Bihar. I went to school to Sunshine Prep High School. Well, the name might show some shine, but it was not so shiny at all. I am the only child of my parents. Well, some of you might think that it is a good thing, but I'll tell you that it was not. As a single child, I missed the love and affection of my siblings. And my parents were very careful. They didn't want to lose control of their child, and hence they were very strict. Due to all this, I couldn't build that strong relationship. I couldn't forge that relationship of love and trust with my parents in the early part of my life, and which affected me in the future. So here's the first lesson for all of you: listen to your children and your youngsters. They have stories to share. Hear them out. Now, coming on to the second stage of my life, that is the high school life. By this time, I had already become out of control for my parents, and the hormones also kicked in. I had a crush on one of the girls in my school, and I somehow managed to get her phone number, dialed her, and finally I was able to reach her. And soon enough, we were the famous lovebirds in our school. But most of you might think that my grades would have dipped and my performance in my class would have suffered. But what happened is exactly the opposite. My grades shoot up, and I was scoring more than 20% of what I was scoring earlier. So, well, you might think, why did this happen? When I look back, I realize that this might have happened because of three factors. The first was love and affection, the care, and the trust and assurance of my partner. But all this didn't last too long. One fine day, my father, mere Abbajan, found out that I was talking to a girl. Oh my God, a girl! Soon this news spread like wildfire, and my relatives were very much interested in all this. So here's lesson number 2: play it safe and take care of your own image. So now coming to the third part of my life, that is the college life. Until now, I had not gone out of Muzaffarpur, and my sense of understanding was very limited. I was the frog in the well. So when I went out, I met people and I got to know about the different perspectives of all those who came from varied backgrounds. And so here's my tip number 3, that is, shed the narrow mindset and go for a global one. Now, the fourth and the last experience was post-college. When I came out of college, I realized that what they taught in college was a sham. They didn't teach you what was expected or required in the business world, which was relevant in the industry. The only good thing that happened was I got placed through the college placements, and I got the opportunity to learn over there. Now, coming to the learning from this is that we all should work on upskilling our skills and work every day to achieve better results. With all these 4 lessons that I've gained from my experiences, all of them have shaped me as an individual who is open, who is helpful, who is accepting, and who is very sensitive to all the others. I hope that this learning will continue and I will grow and become a better version of myself in the near future. That's it from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. Everyone, please give Toastmaster Tariq, a huge round of applause. That was a very endearing speech, Toastmaster Tariq, and thank you for sharing with us your personal anecdotes, especially about your love life and dating. All of you now have 30 seconds to provide feedback to Toastmaster Tariq. Timer, please let us know once the time is up. Should we move on then? The second speaker for the day is Toastmaster Manisha. But before we invite Toastmaster Manisha, let us first invite her speech evaluator to help us understand the speech objectives of our second speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster Iqbal.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sana. Toastmaster Manisha delivering Level 3, Project 2, Introduction to Toastmaster Mentoring under the Motivational Strategies Pathways. Timer, please note down the time limit for this speech is 5 to 7 minutes. I wish all the best to the speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster Sana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Iqbal. When I asked Toastmaster Manisha what's the one thing she wished had not changed about dating over the years, Toastmaster Manisha replied that mobile phones have somehow taken away the charm of waiting before talking to one's girlfriend or boyfriend over the landline. That whole joy of sneaking, giving 100 missed calls, and talking at odd hours. We'll now welcome Toastmaster Manisha, from a mentor to a mentee, from a mentor to a mentee, Toastmaster Manisha.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today I am delivering one of the most important speeches of my Toastmaster journey. My encounter with mentoring is not new, but in Toastmasters, it has helped me to view mentoring from a different perspective. Mentoring and guiding my team has always remained my key roles and responsibilities in my organization. I have created second line of leaders, mentored them, and encouraged and empowered them to expand their team and start taking decisions at an organizational level. It is interesting to see that how those team leaders are now guiding their team and giving them constructive feedback, which is helping them to achieving their goals. Now, let me ask a question. Have you ever wondered how few companies become so successful? We as millennials are so fascinated with new age companies like Swiggy, Facebook, Paytm, Ola, etc. But how did they receive such an enormous success? What were those key factors? Let me give you the perspective now. In my view, the combination of elements like progressive team leader, a visionary founder, a strong balance sheet, a funded company can help to take the organization to the next level. But all these elements have to be backed up by a passionate and a strong team. In many organizations, the HR primarily works to retain and nurture talent so that they can help in the organizational growth at the longer level. I have been an entrepreneur for the last 15 years. I'm running a company which is one of the top 5 PR agencies in India. But have I ever thought that I was able to do this just because of me and because of my partners? Absolutely not. We have often heard that a team member quits the manager, not an organization. This particular statement has remained a driving force for me to ensure that I remain a committed, supportive, and a caring team leader for my team. And I absolutely cherish the kind of relationship and bonding I have been able to develop with my team. However, something changed for me in 2020, and that change was good, and that change was Toastmasters. After playing a role of mentor for so many years, I became a mentee. The transition in Toastmasters from mentor to a mentee was actually seamless for me because of the mentors and friends that I encountered here. Definitely, I was little worried initially, and there were a few factors, genuine factors, like age gap, the difference in the years of experience, the new setup. But all these factors never hindered my learning graph in the Toastmasters. And I would like to give the entire credit to my mentors here. Interestingly, I have had two mentors in Toastmasters. One who was formally assigned to me by the EC team, and the other one who was informally became my mentor. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank them for their unwavering support, and they are very much part of my success in the Toastmasters that I have achieved so far. Toastmaster Swati Yadav and Toastmaster Rohan Batra, please accept my immense gratitude for the time that you have invested in me, for listening to my banters, for pushing me so hard, and for always giving me constructive feedback that helped me to perform better and better in every meeting. Now, let me share a very quick and funny incident. After spending initial weeks in Toastmaster Swati Yadav reached out to me to participate in ice-breaking contest. As expected, I was reluctant, but I had to give up in front of Swati's pushing and decided to write my introductory speech. After 2-3 days, I realized that this is a proper contest. You won't believe I got so upset with Swati. I actually wrote very nasty messages to her. My exact words to her were, "How can you do this with me? This is my first speech and you are putting me in a contest. You are so unfair. This is going to be demotivating for me." And as we all know how Swati is, she remained calm. She helped me throughout the process. She helped me in my speech. She decided the title of my speech and kept replying to all my messages till the last moment. I was very sure that I'm going to screw this contest. I might turn off my camera. I might just vanish from the contest. But Swati demonstrated the confidence and trust in me. And it actually worked out for me. The deed arrived, contest happened, I gave my speech, result out, and I stood third. This is a validation of how a supportive and a non-judgmental mentor can help you to take that one small step, which will open a door of opportunities for you in the future. My informal mentor is more like a friend to me. I admire him for his calmness. I just wish to achieve an oratory skills like him. The way he speaks during table topic session is the art that I wish to master upon. He is the one I always get in touch with when I want to get rid of negative thoughts that are cropping in my head. This is, as I believe in destiny. It has happened with me after joining Toastmasters. I've started receiving a lot of public speaking opportunities outside of Toastmasters. So whenever I get that opportunity, I start eating his head, and he always pushes me to a right direction. One small encouraging message or a pep up talk can have such an influence in your growth, has been demonstrated really well by my informal mentor, Toastmaster Rohan Batra. On a lighter note, I would like to say that I have received the best mentors in Toastmaster, but they have also received the bestest mentee. Jokes apart, Toastmasters has been an important journey in my life, and it is paramount for a mentee to remain highly driven, be connected with your mentor, and always take feedback in a very constructive way. It is a key to your growth, be it at Toastmasters or be at your professional growth or in your personal life. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manisha. That was a fabulous speech. And also thank you for sharing with us your experiences, both as a mentor and mentee. You all have 30 seconds to provide feedback to Toastmaster Manisha. In the meanwhile, timer, please let us know if there are any disqualifications.
No Toastmasters any disqualifications. Luckily, both the speakers were very close to the upper limit, but good luck. So you're in. Yes, thank
So
you.
in the meanwhile, can we also have the polls for the best speaker? Um,
I request the hosts and the co-host to vote in private chat. They can send their votes to me because
oh, okay.
yeah, they won't be able to vote here. And I request others to vote as well. It's very close. Can you please, all of you, can you please vote? I'm looking at my chat screen as well.
Four people are left. Please vote.
Yes. So we'll be closing the polls now. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. With that, we come to the end of the first section. But before we proceed to the second section, let us do some fun. I have a small dating quiz for all of you to test your quoting IQ. I'll give you some options and you can answer them by raising your hands, and you're also free to shout. So here we go. First question: who falls in love faster, men or women?
Men, of course.
Men.
Men, of course.
Well, yes, that's the right answer. As per a survey, men come to know after their first date if it's love or not, while women can take up to a month to make up their minds.
It's always love.
Moving on to the second question. How many online relationships lead to marriage? About a third or 1/5?
A third.
1/5.
One third,
One
or
third.
even less than that.
Well, the answer is 1/3, and it's not a small number. So, all those who are single here can give it a try, but be careful. Third question: what's the biggest turn on for most people? Hair, grammar, or smile? Hair, grammar, or smile?
Grammar.
Grammar.
Well, the answer is smile followed by good grammar. Fourth and final question: who is more likely to search someone online before a date? Men or women?
Women.
Women.
Yes, that's quite obvious. The answer is women. So, men in the house, if you're trying to woo someone, make sure you have an impressive social media profile. And now let's proceed to the second section, the table topic module, which will be conducted by none other than distinguished Toastmaster Kaushik. DTM Kaushik is currently serving as the district PR manager. He has been the District 41 champion in speech evaluation contest, 2 times runner-up in division level international speech contest, and district level contestant in table topic contest. He has also been a national debate champion and loves anchoring. He's a poet and a netizen. With a huge round of applause, let us now welcome DTM Kaushik.
Just give me a second to share the screen and connect my headphones. Hello, welcome everyone, and thank you very much for having me here. I'm going to share my screen now and present the presentation. I would request the tech master to please give me the access to share screen. Thank you so much.
Done.
So, table topics is something which we most of the times think of extempore or impromptu speaking. But I personally believe that table topics or impromptu speaking or anything that we have to talk on impromptu is not actually an impromptu speaking. It is something that is somehow related with what we are aware of, what we already know, and what we have already learned. So, table topics or even impromptu speaking of different kinds are prepared speeches which we are not just prepared to give at that deliver at that point of time, but prepared in a sense we have already learned or had those experiences. So if we have to speak impromptu or fast in a topic, I feel that we should also at the same time spend some time where to digest or register the events, incidents, happenings that we see, the lessons that we come across in life, and keep those with us so that we can relate and take away those thoughts. A book that we have read, a message, a newspaper article, a blog that we came across, a song that we could internalize, or a poem that touched ourselves. Probably all those will provide some content that can stay with us, which can come up in impromptu speaking and in case of table topics. Toastmasters International provides us platforms to practice table topics, humorous speech, international speech, evaluation, and a lot of other things. What we do after taking or participating or practicing these different type of events and then taking them out and using in our daily life, probably that is what empowers us to be a better individual. And today's impromptu speaking module or table topics module will talk about content crisis, how to catch an eye, uh, where to look around while talking, the hero goods, I call them, and those are the X factors or things that make us stand out. The movement, when to move, when not to move, where to move, and how to move, and how to make the world listen to our content. So these are the different elements that we're going to talk about or cover as content in today's table topics session. The first thing that we're going to talk about is content crisis. Now, content will always not be crisis, and sometimes there is a topic that is given to us which helps us think or wonder that okay, we can talk about these things, and we already are aware of things and we speak. Our module today will talk about something when we do not know what to talk about. There are certain topics when we are expected to think on our feet and speak on the go, but we are not really aware of what exactly I want to talk about in those cases. So in that cases, I suggest speakers to split the topic up and then integrate the topic and then reveal the topic. How do we do that? For example, we can take up an example in this case, and we will keep this interactive. I would request few of you, say few of you, to unmute yourself and give a word. So we will come up with a random topic, and we will try to practice and see how exactly we can come up with that topic. So I would request the second and the third people to have like relate with the previous word. So if I say the and the second one says sun, the fourth word should be like it should come up to a tense towards a sentence. Okay. So someone who wants to give me a word, anyone can unmute and speak.
Romance.
One at a time. Yes, any one of you.
So I was saying romance.
Romance. Okay. Toastmaster Asta, the second word.
Flower.
Flower. Okay. Romance, flower. Romance, flowers. Okay. Then anyone? Third word.
Does it have to be a random word, or does it?
Yeah, it can be anything. Up to you. We will form a topic joining the words together. So just
Bloom.
try to make. Sorry.
Bloom.
Bloom.
Yes.
Romance, flowers, bloom. Nice. Then anyone else? It's not yet a sentence, so someone has to give a word. Anyone can give a word. You don't have to speak really on this now. I will speak. So you can. I just need the topic. Romance flowers bloom.
Makes.
Makes. Okay. Romance flowers blooms makes. Yes, Tosma, you want to say?
Perfect picture.
Uh,
Perfect picture. Okay. Romance flowers blooms makes perfect picture. This is a sentence more or less, right? So we will stay with this. Okay. Thank you. So say the topic is romance flower blooms makes perfect pictures, and the contest master or the table topics master will repeat this to you twice when you are on the stage in a table topic segment. And in normal life also you face something wherein these words are thrown at you. Romance flowers makes blooms perfect picture. Romance flower makes blooms perfect picture. Now this does not really make a lot of sense because these are random words, but I have to speak on it. And what can I do is I can split the topic up. The few of these words will register more when I hear them. The words that register more to me is, say, romance is there, flowers is there, picture is there, or perfect picture is there. That stuck with me more. And there are the word blooms that is present. And uh, that's all I can remember from the topic right now. So these are the words that come to me. Now when I don't have a clue of what exactly I want to talk about it, I can talk on these key words initially. So I can maybe talk about how romance, what is romance to me, what is romance, how romance can be blooming in as per my understanding of love and romance and romantic relationships. And I can say that how that can eventually become a give a perfect picture, picturey feel to my life. Now, this can be a table topic, presentation on random words, or some topics where I do not really understand what I have to speak on or what I have to say. So, this is what I'm trying to mean by split. So, maybe if this topic is given to me, I can say that romance is something which makes me always go blushy. It makes me wonder of those college days and school days when we used to go out and meet our friends, and we always used to wonder and when we will be having those girlfriends, the first date that I had, or the first person we talked out. And all these things can come in as personal stories. Now when we start defining the key words that has come to me, stories will come in my mind related to those definitions that has happened to me, because I'm prepared for it. Prepared in the sense of songs, books, events from my life, events I have seen in my life. And all these things will be there as supporting materials that come into the table topics. So keywords can be identified by splitting and then integrating them by jumping from one word to the other. Now, while taking up this keywords or splitting up the keywords and taking them out, it is important that we cover different parts of the sentence or different parts of the topic that is given to me. Because if we ignore the perfect picture, which is at the end, and just talk about romance and blooming at the beginning of this speech, or what is present at the beginning of the topic, maybe the picture part gets loses out and we speak off topic. And if it is a normal case where I'm talking outside Toastmasters context, people might feel I'm talking off context, and in a contest I might lose out marks on the judges ballot for not being relevant to the topic. Now once I have split the topic, integrated the topic, and then I am able to reveal the entire content with it, the content crisis is resolved. So if you have anything you want to talk about and you have it in your mind and you want to speak about it, very nice, very good. If you do not have, try to split it, identify the keywords that stay with you, define them, and then speak up to the audience, integrating them and relating them with personal stories and incidents that come up. Define the word, then your story, define the word, then your story, and then punch them, knit them from one part to the other. And the second thing that we can do, that is about catching the eye, or where to look when you are looking into the audience. In a physical contest and in a physical setup, or in a virtual setup, in a physical contest, in a virtual contest, eye movements or looking into the audience is equally important. Now, in a virtual setup, it is a little different than in a physical contest. So, if in a physical setup, there are two ways we can look into the audience. one is the Z and one is the V approach. So if this is the audience, if you see this as the crowd present in front of you, and if you look at from point 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 in this Z approach, people in between, so when you're looking from 1 to 2, people from this 1 to this 9 will feel that you have covered them all. You do not have to look into the audience's eyes really, but if you look at the depths or at the back wall or back curtain or backdrop, it more or less covers the whole line. Now when you zigzag like this, it covers everyone in between too. Same way with the V, but when you are following a V approach, ensure that you're doing the V approach to all the different segments of the audience that you have. And this will happen with a body language movement as well. We will talk about the movement, but just in relation with the eye contact or movement here, I would say that when you are at point number 3, say this is your stage 3 to 4, and when you are at point number 3, try to look towards 2 because you're already closer to this segment of this part of the speech of the audience. And when you are at point number 4, try to look towards people in 1, so that this segment of the audience is not does not feel ignored. Same way with the V approach, you have to be I prefer the Z approach a little more, because for V approach what happens is V approach is very fine with a smaller set of audience, but when you have a bigger room like this, if you are at segment 1 and following a V approach here, then segment 2 and segment 3 people, they say this being segment 1 and this being segment 2, these two set of people will feel that they are ignored or neglected while you are speaking to these people here. Same way when you are here, people in segment 1 and segment 3 will feel that they are not getting attended to. So probably Z approach is a better approach, but V can also be followed in case you are going to be you have a restricted audience in front of you. Now, what do we do when it is a virtual meeting or a virtual setup or a virtual contest that we have here? You have small boxes in front of you, windows. Instead of windows we have in our house, we have windows in front of us right now, wherein we peep into other people's houses through them. And through these windows and boxes, we can arrange. Like right now, I have this gallery view in front of me with small boxes in the screen, and I have placed, and in Zoom or any other medium you can actually drag and drop these boxes here and there. Try to keep your box towards the center of the grid, so that when you look at yourself and you speak, you actually look into the camera, because that box is somewhere near the center camera. So my camera is here, so when I'm talking with my box, and just below it, it presumably I am looking at you guys there. Also, this particular virtual medium gives us this opportunity that when we are actually trying to make a point and peep into the audience's mind, we can reach into the people and also move back from the people with the maybe the Bluetooth headphones help that way, that our voice can be, does not make a barrier to the microphone in the device that we're using. So if we can move in, we can move out, ask a question, fall back. So these depth of the stage can also be used with the camera. But one thing we have to be careful while we are even talking in a table topics in a virtual platform is that if we are trying to think and we try to move like this, it becomes a set of distraction for the audience. So after this eye movement, the next thing that we can talk about or discuss is the next thing that we can talk about is the goods. What are the X factors in your speech? Now, in a table topics, like in an international speech contest or in a humorous speech contest, or rather in any contest, it is important that we need to stand out from the rest of the people, or we need to stand out from the crowd when we are talking about the hero goods. So we have to ensure that we make a difference, and we are making people understand of what we are trying to say, what we are trying to speak up. Now, that is what I define as hero goods. For example, how can we do that? Now we can use props. Now it is very easy. It is easier to use props in a prepared speech setup, but it is difficult to use props in a table topic setup. When you are trying to use props which are not with you. Now you can always use your body language as a prop. If you remember Manoj Vasudevan's speech that he came third once and even won the world championship once with a similar speech, by tweaking it a little bit. So in that he used his body as a prop, wherein he was making a bow and an arrow out of his hand. So that is a classic example of using yourself as a prop. Now you always will have your hands and legs and your eyes and mouth and your spectacles if you're using them, or anything that you have put on yourself, a coat or a jacket or a headphone. So these things can be always used as a prop. Now, when you are trying to make an impact with the hero goods, if it is a table topics contest, and you want to utilize these, try to think from beforehand that if I have a topic which is going to be inspiring, what kind of a prop with that I have on me can be used with the topic. For example, if I say about if something is going to be about falling down and getting up or struggles in life, maybe I can drop my headphone and then I can say that I'm not able to listen properly, and then I put it back and then I can talk again. So this can be a hardship and a prop. This is probably a very simple illustration, but if we can relate the topics or the props that we want to utilize here and there, so that can be one of the key things that we can utilize in our as hero goods in our speeches as well. So and yeah, sometimes it happens that people might say that someone thought that this person knew the topic from beforehand, which is not technically possible. But if we actually make it relatable, and if we make usage of these good expressions or body language or something which is on us, which is very simple in nature yet that can be used, so these hero goods or X factors and points, these things make a good mark, and they can help carry out our point to the audience in a good way. When we are utilizing the stage, so if so in a physical contest, this is of more importance. In a virtual table topics event or a virtual table topics contest, the movement that we require to do, or the movement madness that I talk about, so that is a little less relevant, because of the fact that the mean speaking position is sit and speak. Although if contestants won, they can always stand and speak before the audience. However, I'm going to explain the physical bit here in a while, but first let us talk about the virtual setup first. So if I'm sitting and speaking before you and I'm not moving a lot, when I'm delivering my message, I can still make the audience come with me to one part of the stage and then take them to the other. So if I am talking about, say, the topic example that we took at the beginning, and we were talking about romance and perfect picture and all those things, if I am trying to illustrate or explain one particular event in my life when I'm talking, I can maybe keep my hands and keep them here. And when I'm transiting over to another place, I can move my hand down and transit it to the other place where I am trying to connect with the audience. So maybe my hands could be the locations that I'm there. Now, one thing we have to be very careful in a virtual setup is that when we are using our hands, and we should not make it too haphazard a movement that people tend to get distracted when we are talking to them. So the movement of hands and the head has to be little soft. If you want to stand and speak and move about on stage, that is more relevant for an international speech, because it does not have any marks in table topics contest as of now, with the mean speaking position being sit and speak. So probably we can do that if we want, otherwise we can avoid that. But hand movements can definitely be there. Also, voice modulation can be used to relay the thought. So maybe when I'm taking you away to this side of the audience, I can take you away with, and my voice can be that conductor, where I'm going through the journey and moving from one place to the other. If I talk about the physical contest that we have here, so we have to start from one place in the audience and move to one particular side. So movements should not be haphazard. We can divide the stage, as you see here. I've divided it into 6 segment, which is the front up center, then is the up left, one is the down left, one is the down center, one is the up right, and one is the down right. So if it is, and I'm starting my speech from here, moving first to this way, which is the right to me and left to you. And then from there, I travel to the opposite direction. It has been seen that we generally, we are used to follow this order when we are writing or when we are speaking or when we are listening. So when I'm seeing something in the opposite way, probably it is easier for me to follow this pattern because I'm walking on the stage. But when you are seeing me, you are seeing me as an opposite direction to the text that is followed in front of you. So uh, it will it's intuitively, subconsciously makes us concentrate more as an audience because I am seeing a break in the pattern that is in front of me. The front center position, that is the up center that is located, that can be the narration position of the and that can be used to express something, talk to the audience, and convey our thoughts and messages. The same way we say that when I'm looking into the mic or looking into the microphone and the webcam in front of me and I'm expressing myself, this is this particular position which I mark with this X. And when I'm moving here, when I'm talking about, I can divide the stage into these segments and place different elements or activities that I am going to do in one segment. So while I am talking my table topic or delivering my table topic, I have to ensure that I also keep I'm mindful of what I am actually speaking about. So if I'm talking about, say, one story and I speak it here, the next story has to happen somewhere else. If there is a setback in one story here, I have to go back below and I can say that I have fallen down, or there is a failure and there's a setback. So I'm going down and I'm using the depth of the stage to use that. If there is something which is very pertinent to the message, I can always go back through this position. And something neutral can be spoken from this mean center position. And the same here, the second, maybe another story can be at the upright and something at the down right. So this is something which we can use for international speech contest as well. And as I said, the table topics and ISC are not that different in a sense because the judges ballots are also more or less very similar, but at the same time, the judges ballot a little concise for table topics because the points are restricted. But we have similar kind of a pattern of body language, voice modulation, content, supporting materials, the props that we are using or not using. How am I connecting with the audience? How relevant I am speaking with on the topic? So all these things, my correct usage of words, grammar, less usage of jargons or abbreviated words, things that are making sense to the audience, whether I am able to connect with them, whether I'm able to express my thought. So all these things are probably similar, and as a result of which we do need to uh, follow a similar kind of a pattern with the audience. And while we are speaking, like we discussed in the eye movements, so when I am on, say, this side of the stage, I will try to look to this part of the audience, and when I'm on this side of the stage, try to look to this side of the audience. In a virtual setup, like we talked, maybe if I'm moving to this side of the stage or of the camera on my virtual stage, I will try to look straight. I have to keep my eyes to the right so that I look into the camera, and same way like this, I have to look a little left. So this same pattern follows here. When I'm talking from the central position, I do look into my box, which is present below the camera. So after movement madness, I will be first rubbing this. Thank you. So after movement madness, we will talk about the next segment, which is soul toucher. Now, it is very important, like we discussed, that table topics and an international speech content is more or less similarly marked on the content bit. So our content also has to make sense to the audience. Now, how to do that? So, as I said, that I do not personally believe that any impromptu speaking is impromptu at all. So, when it is a contest or when you are trying to go for a table topic segment or a session, the topics can be of specific genres. Now, these genres can be humorous, can be inspirational, can be motivational, can be painful, can be about sad, something that went sad, something that took you down, something that lifted you up, some very painful thing that has happened in your life, and whatnot. So the genres in which a topic can revolve around are more or less limited in nature, because there is as many number of emotions that we feel that we can express in words. And if we have supporting materials or content that we can fit in stories that is in our mind, forming a pool of stories, that will definitely help us. So if it is a contest that you are trying to approach to, I would say keep a set of pool of stories with you. If it is inspirational, probably I'm going to go with these two stories for the contest. If it is if it is humorous in nature, probably I'm going to go with these two stories from my personal life and personify the speech. Now, also at the same time, to add a little bit of depth, each topic can have different perception. So as you see in this slide, there is the same geometric figure, but at a time it can be looked at three different ways. And same way, each topic can be interpreted in a multitude of ways. So it is also important to have analogies in our presentation or in our speech that we are trying to deliver to. For example, along with the usage of your body language or certain things that you're carrying on yourself as a prop, if you can have an similar example, say if there is a thing about setback or thing going up or going down in life, something that you see daily, like maybe a bouncing ball that goes up, goes down in life. If you are talking about things that fell apart, maybe a house of cards, that the small mistake can be the blow of air and it falls apart and it crashes. So things like these analogies can always stay with you related to your topic. Think of it as a search database that you have, the keyword being the topic, and the genre is the primary search key that we use. So if you go into Google and you search with the keyword, that's what happens. So the keyword is searched, maybe the keyword is the topic, and we identify the particular story that I want to relate to, and I take it out and I use it in the analogy and the story that I'm talking, and that will touch the audience and take our speech to a different level altogether. So table topics, like international speech contest, needs to be prepared and needs to be practiced. And one very important thing about table topics is that you have to be very attentive and very careful about what exactly you want to what exactly the topic is, and what exactly the topic is being shared, and how exactly the topic is being pronounced, and what is the exact topic, because we have to stay on the topic, especially if it is a contest. Sadly, in my case, I misheard the topic in my district finals for table topics, and learned it the very hard way. And so I can tell you that be aware. Sometimes there's a if you have different set of different ways that than the contest master, the contest chair, and your dialects do not match, talk with them from beforehand so that you can understand the way they pronounce certain words, and so that you do not face those things in like I faced, and I could not understand the topic and I spoke on something completely different. So other than that, I think table topics or any prepared speech format or any speech format follows the basic structure. Believe in yourself, believe in your stories, think of those stories from beforehand. There should be a fine line between thinking too much or thinking less, because if you think too much, then you cannot think all the stories in the same way. Some stories you will start thinking a lot, and that will stay, and irrespective of whatever topic comes to you, you start talking on those topics. One thing I personally do before getting on the stage for a table topics, especially if it's a contest, is I try to deliver table topics randomly on different elements that I see, say a blue wall, a green grass, the blue sky, clouds and clouds, the switchboard, the rotating fan, something that comes to my mind, I try to relate them with the topics that I've thought, or analogies that I can deliver before. So that keeps my head working and also gives me a lot of different stories that are there. So it's not fixated on one particular thing that I want to talk about. So yes, that is more or less about the things that I wanted to talk about. If you have any question, anything that you want me to specifically talk about, or anything that you would like to add that all of us can benefit from this, now the stage is all yours.
No, I think all of us would want to thank you, Kaushik sir, for giving us such valuable inputs. We've been making notes, and I've observed a couple of uh, others as well making notes while you were speaking. So thank you. There's one thing that I would want to ask. When you talk about looking into the camera, so probably like you're looking into the camera right now. But somehow I, as an individual, feel that when I look into the camera, probably I appear looking somewhere away. I mean, looking directly at you makes me feel that I am having an eye contact with you. I mean, that is what I feel.
Yeah,
So
that is how that is how we are trained. I mean, as a human being, that we look at, like right now I am looking at one of the person in the box, and my eyesight is deviated that way.
yes,
It is not looking into the camera, and that is how we are trained in a person, that we look into that person's face and we talk. So something that we have often heard is doing mirror exercises. So virtual platform is probably all about doing mirror exercises. If you look at yourself and you speak, that is when you look into others when you're speaking. So if you try to look into others, you are actually looking away from them, and if you're looking into you or looking towards you, then you are looking at everyone.
and that's most distracting.
So maybe that yeah, before the contest, I would say that sit with your friends or mentors, or uh, some anyone, and just try to practice that looking into yourself and speaking.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, the putting X is really valuable. I think starting next time onwards, we're going to do that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the lovely session.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kaushik, for giving such an insightful module, workshop, or anything you call it. It was really amazing. Like, I was seeing every faces, and they were they were putting every bit of concentration they have into the words. And after the session, when you asked about the question, I was thinking what all happens with me during the table topics, and I was not able to think of anything that you did not speak about. So it was really informative. And now I think we can have the table topic session, and you can evaluate us a bit. Yeah.
Thank you.
Over
So
to
we'll
you.
Over to you, ma'am.
we'll now proceed with the third section, the table topic section, for which I would like to invite the table topic master to come on the screen and conduct this section. Over to you, Toastmaster Ghulam.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sana. Once again, good afternoon to all of you. I think we already had a very good session, a workshop for table topic master, and I think it's time to use that learning. And before that, I would also like to state my role. I'm table topic master of the day. Table topic master enables member to develop the skills of impromptu speaking. Table topics help the speakers to quickly organize and think on their feet. Table topics help in different spheres of life, be it an interview, GD, or interacting with people. It provides a speaking opportunity for guests as well as members who are not on the agenda. So each speaker is required to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. 30 seconds will be given on the upper side. Any speaker speaking for less than minute or more than 2 minutes 30 seconds will be lead to disqualification. So let's begin this entertaining session. Uh, Before this, I would like to give you some rules for today table topic theme. Like there will be two choices. One is the random topic, and another one is with the random topic. We will have a frame of mind, like what mood you will choose. So let's begin that I would like to request any volunteer, any experienced member, so that everyone can have a fair idea about that.
We can have a PR manager who just gave us the talk. Maybe he can show us the way.
Yes, yes.
Kaushik sir, would you like to try?
Okay, sure. I love table topics.
Okay. So your topic is, imagine you have the power to go to your past, but this time with some different identity. And your frame of mind will be excitement. So DTM Kaushik, imagine you have the power to go to your past, but this time with some different identity. Imagine you have the power to go to your past, but this time with some different identity. To DTM Kaushik, please start.
With time, we understand and we learn the consequences of our choices. Each decision that we make or we take at a crossroad, our lives take a diversion and we follow a path. Our choices are like stones thrown into a pond. They create ripples, and enough ripples, and it can turn the tides. Today, if I am given the chance to go back to my past and observe with a lot of enthusiasm and as an onlooker on the choices that I made in my entire 30 years of life, I would be excited and delighted to take it. Because, firstly, I love science fiction and I love technology and I love gadgets. Time travel would be something out of the ordinary for me. Now, one thing I also appreciate about myself is that I do not regret my choices. I feel that every choice that I make or we make at a particular point of time should be the right for that moment. If I go back to my life and when I look back at my life, I don't regret the choices that I have made. Given a chance on another day with a different set of circumstances, maybe some choices I would like to choose differently. But I would be very enthusiastic. I would be very excited when I go back and meet my former self and I will give a pat on my back and say, come on, buddy, you take the choices, you make the choices. You made me today because of the choices that you have made. Today, I have learned the things that could have been done in a brilliant way, the things that I have done in the best way that I could have achieved, and the things that I should have done a little differently so that next time when those doors come to my life, when I'm at those crossroads, I know I will not take the right one. Maybe I'll take the left, or maybe I'll take one more step towards forward and create a new way for myself. So you keep on making those choices. And I'm excited for you. Today, if I'm given the chance to go back to my life at any point in the last 30 years, I will give myself another pat on the back and then come back and keep making choices of my own. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Table Topic Master.
Thank you, DTM
Lovely,
Kaushik.
lovely.
It was totally fantastic. And the excitement you have shown, we all are excited now. Let's move to the next volunteer. Any guest who would like to participate? Do we have any guest?
Yes, Shakuntala is a guest. I hope she's interested.
Yes,
Yes, but
Shakuntala.
I'm little bit scared. Okay, give me
So,
time. I'll try my level best.
okay, so you have two choices. Either you want to go with the topic with frame of mind or without frame of mind.
Uh, Actually, okay. Can I have the topic again?
Yeah, I said you have two choices for topic. One
Okay.
is with frame of mind and another one is without frame of mind. Who would you like to choose?
Anything you choose one and give whatever.
Okay, so I'm giving you without frame of mind. So
Okay.
your topic is future with no guarantee and then past with dash dash dash. How will you fill up this?
Thank you, table topic master. I think actually future have no guarantee because of the current situation. It proved us what is those things. But in the past, I think I didn't think that way because I actually thought I can live long because until this situation, corona situation, I never thought of the future that if anything can happen and all those things. I thought future is so bright, and I made a lot of plans and going to India, and because I'm not in India, I'm in Sri Lanka. So I think of coming to India and doing so many things, but sometimes those decisions, something that comes up in the part of our in path, some decisions that comes that prove us we are nothing is in our hand. So, thank you. Sorry, I'm not that big. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you, Shakuntala. It was great. I think if anyone want to guarantee about their future, it's totally difficult for all of us. And I agree with your points. So let's move with another one volunteer. Any member who want to participate? There are very interesting topics, and there is one frame of mind. I think that will help all of us.
Okay, Toastmaster Gulam, I'll take a shot.
Okay. So I am giving you with frame of mind. Okay.
Okay, sure.
So you talking to your dead body, and your frame of mind is comedy.
So I'm going to speak with my dead body, and my frame of mind is comedy.
Comedy, yes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gulam. That is a very endearing topic. It's already making me feel excited to draft a script for speaking with my dead body. Well, I would like to first of all thank my poor little dead body, which is lying there, for letting me have a beautiful life with multitude experiences, challenges, and building my character into what it has turned out to be today, which personally I feel is more resilient. And most of all, I would laugh at my dead body, telling her that there were times when she was a comedy of errors, and lots of situations where she's felt embarrassed, where she has tripled and fallen over. And of course, this is the time when I laugh, because now it's all over. It's all a merry straight line green time. With that, I'll also show my timer cards, because they say that the only thing constant is change, and time flies, even though we are the pilots, but the destination is for sure where which I'm seeing right now. And the I think the most apart from the fear of public speaking, the most fearful thing is the fear of death. But if I laugh at my dead body, I doubt if it's going to set any fear. Thanks for giving me the topic where I've started actually visualizing what will I be towards the end. So thank you, Toastmaster Gulam. Thank you for the topic.
Thank you,
That was
Dipti.
fantastic. And the red card.
It was fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
If I would given the chance to speak to my dead body, I would say, but why? Why now? Why have you gone now?
Oh, well, I imagine my dead body at about 100 years. Okay, the next 100 years. It's not now. There's still to gain a lot.
Thank you, Dipti. So, anyone else who want to participate? There are still a lot of interesting questions for you.
I think Toastmaster Aditya can.
Yeah.
Uh,
Aditya?
Aditya, would you like to?
Why don't you
Toastmaster.
take a pasta?
Huh?
Why don't you take
Toastmaster Swati is also here. Let's see.
No, I think Asta should go.
Yes, Asta, you should. You should.
At this time, extra excitement.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay, so the topic for you is Heer and Ranja is your neighbor, and your frame of mind is tense.
Oh my god, it's Valentine's week. All I have by myself is my favorite foods: dosa, golgappa, chomin, And there I see Heer and Ranja romancing. I have never got the chance of romancing. Why is God doing this to me? When I, Whenever I eat a bite of dosa, I see them kissing. Whenever I eat a bite of chowmin, I see them playing. What is this? This is not the type of Valentine's week I wanted. I am very stressed and tensed. How I should make my Valentine's week more special. Knock, knock. Oh, this squeaky boy is here. I know he must have brought my momos. That will make my mood better for this Valentine's week. I'll eat my favorite foods in terrace, and then Heer and Anja will see me and get jealous of my delicious food. And I'm sure they'll want to celebrate their Valentine's Day with me. And we'll make it the Friendship Day, celebrating it together, and not just making it about love, but making it about love with friendship, love with care, and love with being together. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asta. I think the story that you have created from your food to your voice, I think it was very good for the theme. Let me go to the next. Anyone wants to participate? Toastmaster Tariq, Sana,
Yeah.
Chehek.
Uh, if Saiba wants, then she can. Saiba?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to speak.
Okay. So your topic is you found your friend sitting with someone. Either it's her date or something, or the frame of mind is humorous.
Okay, thank you. When we were in school and we saw someone, a friend, sitting by the side of any girl, what would we do? We didn't have this phone so that we could take pictures or make videos and blackmail them in the later stages for that dosa or that momo or maybe a chicken biryani. So, what did we do then? We actually, what we did was visualize everything and keep, sprinkle some masalas over it and share that nice recipe to all the other friends. And once that friend comes back from his or her date, then we will tease them out and force them to pick out some money and share with us so that we can buy some food and actually relish that. But those stories that I've just shared is something that we relish until now. Whenever we call and we discuss about all the other things, then we also discuss about these little episodes of humor and fun that we had when we were children. That's all from my side. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tariq. From your story, I do remember one of my story, like when we found our friends sitting with someone else. So we usually blackmail them. Either they have to give party or something. So timer, do we have time to take a few more topics? Can you please confirm?
Yes, we can take one more topic.
Okay. So any volunteer now?
I would like Sana to speak.
I think I have spoken enough. Maybe
No,
Manvi
no,
or
no.
Swati or someone who has
Manvi can
not
also
spoken.
speak.
Yeah, someone who has not spoken should get the chance.
Manvi, come on.
I think who would like to
Yeah,
come?
Manvi is here.
Okay, I'll take the topic.
Okay. So Manvi, I think I do not have topic with frame of mind, but yes, without frame of mind. Uh, okay. What is the first thing that you notice when meeting someone in past and now in present?
Can you please repeat once again?
Okay. So your topic is, what is the first thing that you notice when meeting someone in past and now in present?
Okay. Thank you, Table Topic Master, for such a wonderful topic. Whenever I used to meet anyone in my past, what I noticed was the dressing sense. How the person is dressed, how he or she has been groomed, how the hairs are tied, or how the nails or the whole dressing is done. That was my mindset 2-3 years back. But the mindset that now I am having is I don't judge any person on the very first look of his or her. The thing that I only can judge is when I am perfect. I know I have many scope of improvements, and same goes with everyone in their lives. Whenever we meet someone, we just have to do a small conversation with them. Give a hand and say hi, shake hand, or just have a very small introduction with that person. The way of speaking. I have seen many people judging the people by the way of speaking. And yes, now what I do is I give 1% of my judging to the way of speaking, and the other 99% is I do not judge any person in present, because I have a scope of improvement. We all are improving on ourselves. The judging should not be done, as we are not that perfect to judge anyone. That was all from my side. Over to TTM.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manvi. From my thought, whenever in the past, when I met someone, I say, "Where were you?" And in now present, I say, "I don't have time." Go. So, can we have poll for best table topic speaker?
Uh, that would take some time. We can move ahead, maybe till I.
Okay, okay. So, thank you everyone for participating. Over to you, Toastmaster Sana. Thank you.
Thank you, Table Topic Master, and all the participants for that very enjoyable section. We'll now proceed to the fourth and final section, evaluation and feedback, also the most important part of the meeting, for which I would like to invite the general evaluator to come on the screen and conduct this section. Over to you, Toastmaster Chahek.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sana. And without further ado, let's dive straight into the speech evaluations. For this, I'd like to invite on the stage our first speech evaluator, Toastmaster Astha, who is evaluating Toastmaster Tariq's speech titled Who Am I? Toastmaster Astha, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chahek. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate Toastmaster Tariq for giving such a wonderful speech. Who am I? The first words you spoke, that question intrigued everyone to listen carefully to you, making sure that you get the full attention in your topic and in your speech. This way to start is a very good way which gathers everyone's attention to you, and thus making the best of you out of your speech. Secondly, like to comment Toastmaster Tariq on the structure of his speech. Before starting the speech, he gave a very brief introduction about how his speech will go. Like what all will he share in his speech, be it the lessons he was going to give, be it the learnings he was going to provide, and how he divided his speech into 4 different parts: the school life, the high school life, the college life, and the post college life. This brief introduction at the start made the audience know what were they going to expect from this speech, and I'm sure by the end of his speech everyone's expectations was fulfilled by such beautiful words, such beautiful lines, and such beautiful explanation of every part of his life. I like to commend him On his eye contact, he made sure that throughout his speech, he was making an eye contact with every audience. Not even for a second we found him not keeping his eye contact or his eyes going other ways, which could have distracted the audience, but it was on point during the whole time. I like to commend him also on his facial expression. Describing this part, I like to give an example which was for me the best part of his speech. When he came close to the camera and said, "Oh God, talking to a girl." I, and when I saw everyone's seeing him speak like that, every mind was like, wow, what a way to express, what a way to show. And that made us all go wow about his speech. And lastly, I like to commend him on his hand gesture. He made sure that he used the correct hand gesture for everything he said, like my grade shoot up, three factors, four parts of my life. He maintained and showed correct hand gesture throughout the whole time. Every speech he made firstly hand gesture. Though he used the right hand gesture, if we move the camera a little back, his whole hand would be visible and his hand gesture would be shown correctly. Secondly, I recommend him to stand and give a speech so that the impact of this.
Astha, you're breaking.
You can just close your video, please. Maybe there's some problem with Astha's network. Can we continue?
Yeah, probably let's just continue to the next speech
Meanwhile,
value.
can we share the polling when if Astha comes back by then? Will that be okay, Sana? Toastmaster Sana?
Uh, do I have to initiate the polling?
No, I will initiate the polling till Astha comes back.
Okay.
And was there any disqualification for the table topic speakers?
Maybe Deepti
Uh,
can tell it.
yes, yes, Toastmaster Chahek. I'm just sending it to Toastmaster Tariq.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll just have to revise the polls accordingly.
No worries.
Am I audible?
Astha is back.
I think, yeah, Toastmaster Astha is back. Astha, do you want to continue with the evaluation?
She still has some issue.
You may switch off your video if that's giving you bandwidth issues.
Okay. Thank you for voting. Yeah. We can continue.
Yeah, let's just move on to the next speech
Okay.
evaluator because it seems Astha is having some issues. So let's move on to the next speech evaluator, Toastmaster Iqbal, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Manisha's speech titled From a Mentor to a Mentee. Over to you, Toastmaster Iqbal.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chahek. What a beautiful speech delivered by Toastmaster Manisha. I completely surprised how the two words mentor mentee see connect with the real words. How these two words is impacting in the big companies. So one of the main and the most beautiful part I liked about this speech was the clarity of the speech. She divided her speech into four parts. When she started, then she shared the experience of her team. Next, she said how the big companies are doing very well. The mentor mentee program like Swiggy, Facebook, and Ola. and she say how their team is handling a big team. The team leaders are handling a big team using this technique. In the second part, she said about their entrepreneurial journey. The third, her Toastmaster journey, and the fourth, how she become getting the invitation from outside for the public speaking. A complete story with the clarity. The second part I liked most about that was the comfort level. During the whole speech, she was very comfortable. I tried to find out, but I failed. She was very confident, and there was no any afraid or no any distraction during the whole speeches. The third thing was the interest. The story was very engaging. Many times I forget I am evaluating her speech. I was just thinking like, okay, what the next, what next coming, next coming, next coming. Means the whole structure of the speech was very well connected with each other. The way she delivered the speech was really awesome. I have the one recommendation, that is gesture. The speech could have been more better if the speaker focused little bit on the gesture side. I know this is a digital platform and there is limitations. Still, there was some scope. So now I'm summarizing my evaluation. The three best part of the speech was speech clarity, the comfort level, and the engagement of the audience. The one part she could focus, that is gesture. Overall, the speech was very beautifully delivered, and I wish all the best for her future speeches. Over to you, Toastmaster Chai.
Thank you, Toastmaster Iqbal. Before moving on, just want to check if there is any disqualification for the speech evaluators. Toastmaster Deepti.
No, Toastmaster Chehek, we do not have.
Actually, we've not completed the evaluation for Toastmaster Tariq's speech. So I just want to check if Toastmaster Astha is back. Toastmaster Astha, are you back?
Yes, that was it. I'll provide him offline feedback.
All right, perfect. So can we just have the polls, please, for the best evaluator?
We are left with table topic evaluator, right?
Sure. So can we have the table topic evaluation? DTM Kaushik would do that, I believe. Can we please have that too?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. So the table topic speakers today, they were the topics were very interesting in the sense that they took us on a journey. They helped us experience different emotions, and also they helped us. Also, they helped us feel different emotions and convey it to the audience while being indulged with the thoughts around it. So, congratulations to the table topic master for coming up with those topics. We had a guest who spoke, and it was very heartening, and it was a great performance. Could we have a round of applause to our guest speaker today? I request Madam Shakuntala Ganeshan to please keep visiting the club and be keep being a part of the Toastmasters journey. And I'm sure that members here and across District 41 will be glad to work together closely with you in this journey. It was a fantastic table topics that you presented. We came to know about your stories, about your experience, your expressions through them. With time and with more stage presence, I would say more stage time, be it virtual, be it physical. This will take your speeches to a new level. To the experienced already members present who delivered the speeches, we saw some very good personal stories coming out. Like in case of Toastmaster Astha, she came up with personal stories. She had hand movements. She had even eye contact, and it was properly present there. I would recommend that when we are at that stage, when we can modulate our voice, when we can bring in our personal stories, relating this story with some incident or some analogy or anecdotes can also be helpful in helping us or taking our speeches or taking our expressions, I would say, in a better and more tangibly acceptable manner for the audience. So that can be one recommendation for an otherwise brilliant table topic. I would also say that our other speakers who spoke, Toastmaster Deepthi, when she was speaking, she also brought in a lot of So if all of the speakers were able to relate to their personal stories, and that was something which was very strong and which was very coherently deep in this club, that I felt that all of us are confident speakers and we do not hesitate to highlight our stories and our emotions in the context of what we are trying to build. Toastmaster Deepthi, for you, one recommendation can be, now that we already are at a place where we can relate to ourselves, we can bring in a message and pass it over to the audience convincingly and with confidence. A little bit of hand movements, a little bit of a variation of the pace or by which I'm trying to speak as a speaker. Those things can be brought in, and that will probably help even present the content which is already very strong in a more attractive and appealing way to the audience. Probably that will help us touch more hearts and make the effect more lingering on. So for our fifth speaker of the day, fifth table topic speaker for the day, in your speech also there was a personal story, and I really loved that. In your speech you were confident, and you could vary your voice also a little bit, and that brought out the different flavor of the emotion that you were trying to express, the emotion that was given to you by the table topic master. And also in a normal situation you were explaining it in a normal narrative tone, wherein you were trying to drive home the message or the describe the different events and incidents that you had encountered and would love to face. Uh, the recommendation that I would come up with for you would be, when you are differently identifying distinct events in your speech chronologically, especially since this is now virtual in a physical context, maybe we can change places and show that. Here it is a little difficult, so maybe our voice or pace can be a little varied at places. So when I'm talking about places where I'm sad, it can be a little more I have to be a little more reliant on my voice to express my grief. And when I'm excited, maybe that energy or that happiness should come out with my voice a little more predominantly. So since we cannot chronologically distinctly differentiate between places on a stage or a on a virtual platform, we have to find out some other ways, and our voice is one such important strength that we have, that we can use in order to ensure that the difference is made up for an otherwise very lovely way of putting in all the thoughts and differently for pointing out the emotions and the expressions. So overall, it was a very good table topics session that we had, with all the speakers coming up with personal topics, all the speakers being very confident. Even our guest, it did not look like that she's speaking for the first time, and it felt like she's very comfortable, and all our fellow Toastmasters were also very comfortable. I am sure that going forward with the little bit of feedbacks that we all received, and feedbacks that I also expect to receive, and we all will improve ourselves, and we will come up with better speakers and better communicators in the coming days. A feedback or an evaluation in a Toastmasters session is not just specific to one speaker. Maybe we can always utilize those skills in our speeches as well. So something that maybe I have done great today, tomorrow if I have a recommendation I have heard, I would encourage people that those who did not participate in the table topics, those who did, and probably did not receive that exact recommendation for yourself, try also to incorporate the best practices the other speakers were doing in their speech, so that together we can achieve greater things in future. Thank you so much, and over to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, DTM Kaushik, for that detailed evaluation. That is really helpful for each of the members, and for members who did not even speak in the table topic section. I'm sure they benefited from that too. Thank you so much. Should we please have the polls for the best speech evaluator?
So I've added DTM Kaushik's name as well
Sure.
because he was evaluated.
All right. Let's just take 30 seconds to vote, and then we'll move on to the reports of the auxiliary role players. I believe everyone would have voted by now, but just that we're running out of time. And let's start off with the first auxiliary role player, that of the active listener. Should we start off with Toastmaster Gulam first?
Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator. I think we all have a very interacting session. Are you agree with me? So let's check. Okay, so let's begin the question round. So I'm starting with the easy one. So during DTM Kaushik's speech, he mentioned order of movement. So can anyone? Okay, so I think Chehak raised first. Chehak.
Z and V.
That is the approach, the movement, table movement, stage movement. What will be the stage movement? Yes, Sana?
Right to left.
Right to left. No.
Okay.
So he divided all the stage into 6 boxes and told different to choose the different boxes when
Okay.
conveying different. Yeah.
But he also mentioned from the shape. There were 2 shape, if anyone remember. Yes.
Z and V?
No, that was the approach, how we look on the audience. That is different. There was the movement, how we move on the stage. Okay, I give you 3 points. That is center, right, left. So we have to use this. Anyone? Okay, let me give you the right answer. So it is from center to left. Then we have to come back. Then center to right. So it's left to right. Okay. Okay. So another question that is easy. So name of the place where Toastmaster Tariq born. So it was not for Tariq. Sana. Yes.
Muzaffarpur.
Correct. Right. Okay. Then we have. Okay. So this is also an easy one. Name of the school used during Toastmaster Tariq's speech. I think this is easy one. Name of the school Toastmaster Tariq used. Saiba. Yes, Saiba.
I don't remember the full name, but it was Sunshine something.
Correct.
That much I also remember. No point.
Then
So,
why did you get your fault?
Yeah, that is correct. And in the end, it is prep high school. So Sunshine, that will be correct. Okay, then we have. Okay, so this one is, I think, how we see the screen or how we visualize everything. So during the DTM Kaushik speech, there were some shapes visualizing in our screens. Do we anyone remember any 4 of them? Shapes.
Triangle,
Correct.
circle, square,
Correct.
Octagon.
Correct. Correct. And there one more.
Arrows.
No. pyramid.
Yeah, and then we have rectangles also.
Yes, there were triangle, circle, cone, and pyramid. Okay, so this one I think is very useful for all of us. I think everyone, I think most of us will answer this question. How we can improve our impromptu speech? So there were some tools that was used by DTM Kaushik. Three, that one, that I think there are all are easy.
Mirror,
Supporting tools. No,
mirror.
supporting tools. That is for practicing.
Oh,
Where are all listeners?
SIR?
Sorry?
SIR?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that is not a supporting tool. That was the that was some that was the points of discussions. So SIR was coming in the CC. So that content crisis, this is different. Okay, I will give you. That were events, books, and then we have song. So that are the supportive. And the topic discussion was different. That are content crisis, eye catch, hero good. So that are different. Okay, this is also very easy. Toastmaster Manisha is entrepreneuring from how many years? I will give chance to Tariq. He has raised
15
first.
years.
Correct. So Toastmaster Dipti, do we have time to take more questions? No. Okay.
No, I'm afraid not.
So thank you, all the active participants. We do not have any goodies, but yes, we saw that there are a lot of members who are listening actively. So thanks for your participation. Over to you, Sana. Thank you.
We have a cute virtual goodie from the side of Toastmaster Dipti. Someone cute is peeping in the camera again and again and going back again.
Yes, she is my supporting partner. I'll just introduce it in my reports.
Thanks, Toastmaster Gulam. And let's move on to the next auxiliary role player. Let's move on to Toastmaster Saiba as the grammarian for the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Check. After today's meeting, I can conclude one thing, that everyone who spoke, they can tick off the good grammar requirement, the second requirement, or the thing that is noticed most, because there were a number of good usages today. Namely, some of them were chivalrous, relative to an individual, crutch words, digress, resilient, season of love, self-evident, inforge, wildfire, frog in the well, millionaires, seamless, unwavering, ripples, and norm. Some not so good usages that we can work upon are: it is preferable to use hair instead of hairs, because hair is a collective noun and it represents the entire set of mass in our head basically. So, and second is you are talking instead of you is talking, because you is considered to be plural. Will be delivering or will deliver, this is in respect to the sentence that was used then. And sensitive is usually followed by to or about as prepositions. And the word of the day was used twice, once by Toastmaster Check and once by Toastmaster Deepthi. I urge you all to use the word of the day more, even in the upcoming meetings. That's all from my side. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saiba, for that short but very effective report. Can we please have Toastmaster Deepti now for her report of the R counter, then followed by the report of the timer?
Thank you, Toastmasters Chehe. I would first like to present my report for the R counter, and I'll just share my screen. So what I did this time was that I have been an R counter before, and I have pulled. Can you guys see my screen now?
No.
No.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. So since I have been an R counter before, I just pulled out the previous counts of our R's, ums, and the crutch words, and the orange box shows the the numbers that happened today, so that you can trace your improvement from last time to this time on. I will also share this report in the chat on WhatsApp. Having said that, yes, having said that, I'm using a lot of crutch words myself today. And yes, I think my counter will keep on increasing. So, any questions that you would want to ask about the crutch words? Because I would want to give a tip on avoiding the usage of such words, which we end up using a lot. The tip that I want to share is that whenever we feel like using a crutch word, or we're tempted to use uh, or something like that, let's just slow down. And this has really worked for me. For example, just now I was tempted to use the word ah or so that I could continue my sentence. I just slowed down the speed of my word so that I could think about the next one. I would recommend that you can try this speech style or this tip, incorporate this tip in your future speeches. Thank you. And with that, I end my counter report. Back to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Chehek, and I take the control back because I have to present my timer report as well. My little timer, Sohana, come here. She was helping show the red, yellow, and green cards and helping me take a record of the time because it becomes a little, the juggling was a little too much. Um, okay, and she's a Cavalier herself, so she knows the rules of the game. So here's the timers report, and the ones on the left are the introductions and the speakers and the other role players. The time on the right are specifically for the table topics.
Sorry, Toastmaster Deepthi, are you sharing the timers report? For instance, I still can see the hour counter report.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just stop share. Yes, I am sharing the presentation. Let me just share it again. Yeah, I think you can see it now.
Yes.
So, Madam General Evaluator, the table on the left shows the timings in minutes and seconds for all the role players, along with the the prepared speeches and the different role plays, including myself. The table on the right is specially for the table topics. And that's the report. I'll share that in the WhatsApp group as well. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Chehek, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepthi. Before moving on, can we just have the votes or the ballots for the auxiliary role players? Are there any disqualifications, Toastmaster Deepthi?
No, we do not have any disqualifications.
Can everyone take 30 seconds to please vote for the best role players, aux role players? I'll move on in that case. And because we already overshot, I'll try to keep my report very crisp as well. I'll start off with the speech evaluators. So both the speech evaluators did a fantastic job. The speech objectives were read out initially. The CRC approach was followed by both the speech evaluators. The commendations, recommendations were quite meaningful, and only the speech was evaluated. The speaker was not evaluated, which was a very positive sign. I'll just mention a few points of recommendations specific to the individual. So Toastmaster Asta, we lost you in the middle, which was due to a technical glitch which happens in virtual meetings. That's not in your control, but that did lead to a disruption in the middle. But other than that, a brilliant evaluation. Toastmaster Iqbal, a great evaluation. Just one point of recommendation. When you're mentioning a recommendation for a speaker, please do include the examples of the recommendation. So you mentioned that Toastmaster Manisha could have included more hand gestures. You may want to have shown where exactly the hand gestures could have been included in. That's all in terms of the speech evaluators. Special thanks to DTM Kaushik for specially evaluating the table topic speakers. He commended the guest table topic speaker very well, and he commended each of the personal stories. He called out the individuals quite appropriately, and I think I have no I have no recommendations there. So it was all great. I'll move on to the auxiliary role players. Toastmaster Deepthi brilliantly handled two roles with the help of her little assistant as well for the timer. Great work done. Uh, just initially when you started speaking about your role, you could have mentioned a sentence or two about the theme. That would have been great. Other than that, it was an innovative way of showing both the time, or the way you showed the timer cards with the cardboard sheets, especially when you were speaking on the table topics as well, and you ensured that you were showing the cards there. Great job done. Again, for the R counter, you explained the role very well, and you mentioned you gave a useful tip how to reduce the usage of the crutch words. The report was quite innovative, the way you showed the improvement over time, and that's definitely what we all have come here to Toastmasters for, to see how we've improved over time and not just over today. Great job. Toastmaster Saiba, great job done there. A very well thought of word of the day connected to the theme of the meeting. The report was delivered very crisply because of the time constraints as well. And she was very encouraging to use the word of the day. She did say that the word of the day had been used twice, but encouraged everyone to use it again and again. Great job. As the active listener, Toastmaster Gulam, you spoke on the theme initially as well. You shared a personal anecdote about a friend. That was interesting. That was fun. And just a slight point there, when you handed back the stage, by mistake, I think you handed back the stage to Toastmaster Sana instead of the general evaluator. But other than that, great job. Just that was just a very minor point. I'm conscious that I'm rushing, but it's just that I'm conscious of the time. I'll talk about this meeting in general. The meeting did not start on time. At 3 p.m., there seemed to be a confusion. We were still waiting for the role players to join in, and there seemed to be some confusion as to the time allotted to different segments. Probably this is something that we could have discussed offline and prepared better ahead of the meeting. And I can see that it is not ending on time as well. So I think as the EC, including me, I'm a part of the EC, so including me, we all need to plan the meeting in such a way that we can have the meeting start and end on time. So it's for us as well. Additionally, it would have been great if everyone could have switched on their videos. I could see only a few members switching on their videos throughout the meeting, and it just increases the enthusiasm and the participation in the virtual meetings. As a SAR, Toastmaster Manvi gave a very warm and enthusiastic welcome to everyone. She kept her video on. Just one point there, you did not speak on the theme. It would have been great to hear your thoughts on the theme. But other than that, you spoke about the housekeeping rules and the club mission statement. And kudos to you for taking on this role at the last minute. I know that you're not the SAR and you took on this role. Great job. Presiding officer, Toastmaster Asta, she had her video on the entire time, clearly shows leading by example. Great job. She spoke on the theme a bit about the Valentine's week and how she's actually dreaming about the different kinds of food that she's going to have. But she maintained a very positive environment throughout the meeting. She mentioned about the personal connect that she has with Toastmaster Sana as well, about drafting the minutes in her previous role. The introductions were appropriate. She checked for guests in the starting and invited Toastmaster Kaushik to speak initially as well. Great job. Moving on to the Toastmaster of the day, a very aptly chosen theme, given that Valentine's is around the corner. And there was a fun dating quiz in the middle. In audience engagement was ensured in the middle. Just a few points there. Toastmaster Sana could have increased the audience interaction even towards the starting or towards the end, or probably she will in the later part of her role as a TMOD. But other than that, the meeting rules were explained really well. The calling protocol was maintained. The ballots were called on appropriately. The outlook was always positive, and the theme was very interesting, very exciting for everyone. That was quite visible. The knowledgeable module by DTM Kaushik was quite good, and I want to especially thank him for taking out the time to do that for our club. Thank you so much, DTM Kaushik. Moving on to the table topic section, Toastmaster Gulam did an excellent job there. The topics were deep, philosophical, and fun at the same time. There was an interesting twist to the theme, to the way he conducted the session, with some random topics and a frame of reference. A very innovative way of doing the table topic section. I think apart from that, there was the session was conducted very well. Just one thing, Toastmaster Gulam, when we ask to vote for the best speakers, we do check with the timers for disqualification as well, so that the polls do not have to be revised and we can avoid that confusion. But other than that, great job done. I hope I finished and I finished in record time. So thank you so much, and I hand it over back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sana.
Thank you, Genuinely Evaluator and the tag team for the very useful feedback. And now we'll quickly go back to our original theme. We live in a time where we have seen the transition from old-fashioned love letters to mushy WhatsApp texts, from only men initiating the proposal to now even women making the first move, from gifting each other Archie's cards to now gifting something probably as big as an iPhone, and hooking up on dating websites when one can't find someone around. Times have changed and one should evolve with time, which also means that it should make us more accepting both towards old and new. So, whether you prefer to have a live in relationship or you want to wait until marriage, or even if you don't believe in the concept of marriage, whether you value a long term commitment or believe in short term flings, whether you want to date someone 10 years elder or 10 years younger, whether you want to marry someone inside your community or outside your community, and whatever your sexual orientation is, as long as it's aligned with your personal values and it makes you feel at peace, you're doing just right. Thank you, and I hope you all enjoyed today's meeting. I wish you all a very happy Valentine's week. And now I would like to hand over the screen to our presiding officer for concluding remarks. Over to you, Toastmaster Astha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sana, for that amazing theme and talking in such an amazing way and putting out every bits and points about the topic. I am sure everyone here must have loved it because I loved it. Now let's have the polling for the best role player.
And Toastmaster Asta, you're already in a shade of red.
Toastmaster Tariq, can we have the polling?
Yes, just a minute.
Yeah, I did it. Guys, please vote. Okay, co-host and hosts can share your voting with the text master, that is Toastmaster Tariq. Now let's have a feedback firstly from DTM Kaushik. DTM Kaushik.
Yeah, it was an amazing event. A lot of energy and a lot of excited audience, a lot of talented speakers. I wish you and the club all the best, and to all the members. I'm sure that we will go from strength to strength. and in the coming days, not just complete the DCP goals, but be an example for the other clubs to emulate across the district. Best wishes to the entire executive committee and the members and leaders of the team. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kaushik, for joining us today and helping the club with the amazing module. I know everyone must have been so much profitable from it, and I know that the next week when we will have our table topics contest, the qualities you told us and the points you told us, we will incorporate in our speeches. Thank you so much. We had another guest that just left right now, so I think maybe some network issues. So we can move on with the awards, guys. So the best speaker award, we had two speakers today, Toastmaster Tariq and Toastmaster Manisha. Guesses. Let's have some guesses, guys.
It was very tough.
Yeah, very difficult.
Very easy.
Both.
Both.
Yeah, exactly. It should
The
be both.
easiest answer is both.
They have to
Okay.
choice.
So who said both? Can I know?
Gulam, Toastmaster Gulam.
I also said both.
Toastmaster Sana and Gulam.
Yeah, and I second that.
So
So-
I'll tell you, there was a tiebreaker.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
a tiebreaker vote.
So the best speaker is Toastmaster Manisha. Congratulations, Toastmaster Manisha, for that wonderful speech. I'm sure Toastmaster Swati and Toastmaster Rohan would be happy too to hear that. Coming to the best table topic speaker, this is very easy. Come on,
Yeah.
guys. Best table topic
No one
speaker.
needs to even guess.
Right.
DTM Kaushik.
It was very prominent on our faces only who spoke the
Yeah.
best. DTM Kaushik, you were the best table topic speaker for today. Congratulations. Next, we have the best evaluator. This is also easy. Come on, guesses.
DTM Kaushik again.
DTM Kaushik wins the best evaluator. And who can be the best Ox role player?
Deepti.
Dipti.
But timer or a counter?
Yeah, that's a question, because even though our counter was Deepti, we had timer between two people, Deepti and the girl with that beautiful hairband, and the one she's hiding. We won't steal your hairband. You can come here.
I think she did a
Congratulations,
fantastic
you have
job.
won the best timer for today and the best Ox role player.
Thank you. So we have our supporting tools around. We have the phone, the tripod stand.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And the best role player goes to
Chehek.
Rana. I love the theme, yaar.
I also love the theme, yaar. But the best role player goes to Toastmaster Chehek. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It was a lovely meeting, guys, and it was so lovely having you all with that amazing theme and amazing enthusiasm. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and special thanks to Toastmaster Kaushik